Magicbricks now takes stock of women's safety in India. This Women's Day, we find that governments across India continue to give minimal priority to women's safety. And the suspense finally ends. Shiv Sena candidate Vishwanath Mahadeshwar becomes the mayor of Mumbai. Meanwhile, Delhi government presents Budget 2017. Focus remains on health, education and women's safety. And Bengaluru's Bellandur Lake spews toxic foam yet again. This comes despite several assurances to Magicbricks Now by the government. Straight up, before we get to the big story, the entire world is celebrating Women's Day, but Magicbricks Now takes this opportunity to highlight the safety issues faced by the women across the country. Every day, shocking cases of rape, molestation, murder and other crimes against women have surfaced. Our reporters across the country sent us ground reports when it comes to women's safety. Take a look.
While women are celebrating International Women's Day, women here in Bengaluru, they have voiced their one cause of concern, that is women's safety. In fact, as far as the National Criminal Records Bureau records, if you take of 2015, Karnataka stood number 3 as far as atrocities against women is concerned. In fact, 718 cases of under IPC section, that is outraging a modesty of women, were reported in 2015, and at least 5,000 cases, that is atrocities against women, were reported in 2015, and 273 POCSO cases again were reported. In fact, the National Criminal Records Bureau is yet to release a new criminal records, that is criminal cases against women here in Bengaluru. Magicbricks Now were able to source, that is the crimes against women here in Bengaluru, from the City Crimes Records Bureau, and we are able to understand that at least 218 cases against women were reported here in the city, and out of which 159 cases have been detected. But what the activists are trying to tell us is that even though the cases are detected every day, molestation has been reported here in the city, starting with, in fact, this particular year started with the New Year horror, that is the New Year mass molestation horror, after which a slew of molestation cases were reported, and including just last week, another molestation case was reported in HAL police station limits. In fact, the activists are saying that the molestation atrocities against women will continue, and it is the police department, the law and order department, that the crimes bureau department to come out in the open and come with stringent measures to protect the women in Bengaluru. In Bengaluru, Sridhar for Magicbricks Now.
Women's safety, whether international or in our city, has not improved much. Atrocities continue to be committed on women, and we know that now the statistics are also very high because several women are wanting to come forward and make a complaint. The sad part of it is, even now my system is not ready to acknowledge the victims as complainants. They are being told don't make these complaints, and that is the sad part. What we are talking of is, the minister said that they will be putting in 500 cameras, that the police stations are going to become more respectful towards women, policemen will also become more sensitive, but this seems to be a far cry because we don't see it when you go to every station. There are some police officers who are generally very sensitive and respectful towards women, but that is not told, cannot be told for everybody, and this needs to change. The system has to start telling that women will be treated with respect as complainants. You cannot all the time tell that you don't complain, don't talk about it, because this is what the world has been telling us all these days, that women should not raise their voice against atrocities, women should not raise their voice against any kind of violence, and violence continues to happen, not just on the streets, but also in the homes and in the institutions. This is another International Women's Day that we are celebrating, but the slogan is that women themselves have to start raising their voice. We need to start coming onto the streets and questioning and challenging everybody. And it is up to the elected representatives to see that women voters are given the due respect and given the due space which has been denied to them for so many years.
And as nation celebrates Women's Day in the national capital, no arrest made yet in Gurmeher case. The 22-year-old DU student received rape and murder threats on social media. Deepa Rana gives us an account of how safe women in Delhi feel.
Crime against women have increased to twofold in last 3 years. The number of molestation cases reported in the national capital is at least 5 cases reported every 2 hours and a rape case reported every 4 hours. This is the official data of the National Crime Bureau. Out of the 2 lakh cases reported in the period of 2015 to 16, 73% remained unsolved. This has been one of the shocking data of the national capital released by the National Crime Bureau. We reached out to the Delhi Commission for Women also and the Delhi government as well. The number of steps taken by the authorities as well as the police has been very dim, as nothing has been there on ground. The Delhi government had promised CCTV cameras all across the city, a promise which remains unfulfilled even till date. Though the Delhi Commission for Women have started a task force that is going to work for women's safety, the offences, online offences of women have also increased in the past 1 year, with cyber crimes being reported as one of the major crimes against women after rape and molestation. The Commission, the Women and Child Ministry is also setting up a cyber cell to track these online abuses that are being done to women, and soon we can expect a cyber cell being established to look into the cyber complaints as well. The ministry, the Women and Child Ministry, is also working upon Sakhi centers, out of which they are planning at least 50 centers all across the city. A number of them is already working. At least 8 centers are already working across the country. And these are the Sakhi centers which look into rape crisis and rape victims, and also the number of cases against children have been on a high. Child trafficking has increased in the national capital, and the Women and Child Ministry is now working upon to set up a rehabilitation cell and to work for these kids so that they are rehabilitated and they are saved from being re-trafficked all over again. Although these are the steps just on paper for now, they are all work under progress, but we do require some of the stringent measures when it comes to women's safety, as it remains one of the major concerns in the national capital.
Down south in Chennai, meanwhile, young girls and women are not finding the city safe anymore. On International Women's Day, several protests and awareness programs were seen taking place in the city of Chennai. Shweta gets us this report.
Chennai women are increasingly questioning the city's reputation of being safe for women and children. In the last weeks of February, a 3-year-old girl and a 7-year-old girl were brutally murdered and sexually assaulted. Rape, child abuse and stalking cases registered with the police as of 2015 are 2006-17 cases, and also there are various other cases that have not been reported so far. And in 2015 we saw many stars coming out and giving their complaints in the police station. Actress Varalakshmi Sharath Kumar exposed the casting couch in the film industry, and little has been done by the government to ensure safety for women, and there are no CCTV cameras or other safety measures that are being provided for the women. In Chennai, Shweta for Magicbricks Now.
Women's safety, it's a must, there is no place to hide or anything, to cry at least. To cry there is no place. Now at least it is a safe material, Save Sakti is which is very good, organized by Varu. So it will be very good, future days, there is a place, to go and tell everything.
I think it's about time that women start standing up for themselves, and it's not necessarily only in the film industry, it's happening everywhere. I've had journalists call me and say, ma'am, on a separate note, it's happened to us as well. So it's happening everywhere in every industry, so women have to start standing up, which is why this campaign, I'm requesting all women to come out of their shells, stop being scared, be proud to be a woman. It's amazing to be a woman because we give birth to the men, so we are not, we're not there, they're not there. So start standing up for yourself because no one else is going to do it otherwise.
Meanwhile, once considered a safe haven, Mumbai is now proving to be rather unsafe for women. Merciless rape and murder of a 24-year-old physiotherapist in Bellandur Lake case is testimony to this fact. Aishwarya Palawal gets us this report.
Even though the city of Mumbai is considered safe as compared to all the other cities in the country, the rate at which conviction is done in this city is appalling. Now, Magicbricks Now had to relentlessly follow up the Bellandur murder case for 2 months. Every day we used to hammer the government, we used to ask answers, and that is when, after 2 months of the gruesome rape and the murder of the physiotherapist, was the police being able to lodge an FIR and being able to nab the culprit. Now, in the past few years, the safety of women in the city of Mumbai has only deteriorated. From 2011 till 2015, the number of rape cases being registered increased by 290%. Not just that, even molestation cases saw a rise by 247%. Not just this, in the city of Mumbai, the conviction rate when we talk about rape is a dismal 27%. Overall, these things point out to the fact that the system is not in favor of the women in this city. This city is actually not safe. Let me also remind you of the gruesome 2013 Shakti Mill rape case in which a journalist was being raped brutally by a group of men, and this case also took a very long time. It was only after 1 year that some kind of headway was being made by the police in Mumbai in these cases. And the very recent one, Bellandur case, in which our channel, Magicbricks Now, fought for 2 months continuously to get that women justice, clearly points out to the fact that Mumbai as a city is not safe for women. Aishwarya Palawal for Magicbricks Now.
In some aspects, yes, I feel it is safe because I used to work for a BPO and I used to do night shifts as well. So I used to get a pickup and a drop both. Having said that, I used to feel extremely safe to travel on the roads in the night at 12 o'clock.
The city of Mumbai is safe because you can travel comfortably at any hour of the day and it doesn't feel very awkward. I mean, sometimes it does, but I mean, it's a very lively city and it's an active city.
Bombay for me is much safer any time of the day or night. It is easy for me to travel from one place to another here rather than being in Delhi.
On to the big story now. IT city Bengaluru's lake is spewing toxic foam yet again. This comes just 2 weeks after the lake was seen on fire because of toxic waste that is constantly dumped here. Bengaluru's infamous toxic lakes have been making headlines for nearly 2 years now. But surprisingly, the Siddaramaiah government has not come up with any solution yet. In fact, Shrija joins us on the phone line with more details. Shrija has been tracking this story for us. Shrija, tell us this. We've seen Bengaluru's Bellandur Lake, spew foam, every fortnight. And we saw this last fortnight as well. What exactly was the problem this time around?
Right, Amita, since Bengaluru experienced showers for the last 2 days, the Bellandur Lake started frothing this morning. Also, understand that the Bellandur Lake's toxic froth has been a perennial problem for the residents. In fact, it has been a nightmare for them. Also, what we understand is that an expert committee by the Urban Development Department Additional Secretary Mahendra Jain, they had in fact formed a 16-member team to study especially this particular case. And we also understand that they had come up with long-term and short-term measures, that long-term being installing STPs and short-term being installing aerators. However, what we understand at this point in time is that the BDA, the Bengaluru Development Authority, has only flouted tenders, and so far 4 participants have come forward to revive this particular lake. But as far as an immediate solution, we don't see any authorities coming up and cleaning up this lake.
Also, tell me this, Shrija, what is happening to the 16-member committee? Like you rightly pointed out, have the tenders been floated?
Right, Amita, the tenders have already been floated, and this was done just last week. What we understand from P.N. Nayak, the engineer of BDA, he told Magicbricks Now that so far 4 participants have come forward to revive this particular lake as far as the long-term and short-term measures are concerned. But however, it will take at least another 20 days to finalize on these participants who will be reviving this Bellandur Lake.
20 days at least to finalize things, but this is a problem that's persisted for nearly 2 years. Thank you for those details, Shrija. In fact, on the big story, we're joined in by A.S. Kodandapani, ex-town planner of the BDA, and Seema Sharma, who is a citizen from the locality. Thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks Now. Ms. Sharma, I will come to you first. Tell us this, you're a citizen of that locality that we've been talking about, Bellandur Lake, which is turning toxic by the day. How do you feel as a citizen? Because this, of course, is a serious concern.
As a citizen and as a helpless spectator, we feel really frustrated because we see this lake dying in front of our eyes daily. So since we live on the periphery, and there are many of us who are trying to do our bit, but our small bit might not make a big change. So last week BDA promised that some cleanup, at least cleanup will start in a week, and then within 20 days some action will happen. Again, we don't see any update. So this is happening. We are going to all officials and elected reps from more than a year now. And working on it, but again we don't see any action at all. So we don't know what to say to that.
Very quickly, tell me this, considering you're a citizen of that locality, the BDA has to take up the entire fencing work as well of the lake. Has that happened? Do you see any sort of progress on ground to ensure that, untreated sewage does not go into the lake?
So there were a lot of quick things. I think Sridhar mentioned in the last panel discussion on your channel only that there are some quick fix without much things like stopping the dumping, fencing the lake, cleaning the area, which can be done without big expense or big action plan. We as a citizen, we don't see any groundwork happening there.
Absolutely no progress on ground. We also have Kodandapani, who is the ex-town planner of the BDA. Mr. Kodandapani, I would like to ask you this question. The onus, of course, is on the BDA to rejuvenate this lake, although it falls within the BBMP's limits. But Shrija was, telling us that it will take at least 20 days for things to start happening on ground. The tenders have been floated, but it will take another 20 days. But this is a problem that has persisted for the last 2 years. Why is it taking so much time?
Hello. Sankey tank. Sankey tank is very beautiful. Clean. There no sewage is entering. All the citizens around in the palace orchard, they have improved that lake. So why not we do like Sankey tank, this Bellandur tank also? No, earlier Alsur tank, Alsur tank, what a big tank. Sewage was entering from a big storm water drain. After registration, what they did, the sewer was taken to one side, and then sewage was not allowed to enter the Alsur tank. In spite of that, some unauthorized connections, sewer connections, they leave the sewage to the Alsur Lake. What the BWSSB people are doing, they should inspect and close the water connection, electrical connection of those buildings where sewage is left. The main problem is sewage entering to main problem is sewage getting into Bellandur tank. BWSSB should take the sewage beyond the metropolitan area and they treat and leave it to the natural valley.
But Mr. Kodandapani, how long can this blame game go on? In fact, like you rightly pointed out, the BWSSB has to ensure that they set up STPs and make sure that untreated sewage does not go into the lake. But it's the BDA which is supposed to rejuvenate the state, which is supposed to ensure that things like this don't happen, to make sure that all of the stakeholders, are on board.
But main problem is sewage getting into the lake.
Sir, I want to point out one thing. 1 minute.
1 second,
Is it really only sewage? We don't see industrial waste coming. We don't see construction waste dumping. We don't even have the fence. So who is supposed to put the fence? Who is supposed to do the cleaning? That is not BWSSB. And let me tell you other thing. All these apartment communities, everybody has STP. It's the individual houses for which they can build a sewage and that STP and they can do the treatment there. But all other big communities are having STPs. But it's not only sewage problem. Problem is much bigger. Problem is dumping. Problem is no fencing. Problem is not cleaning. There are a lot of problems. So what are the problems which BDA owns and what are the actions BDA can take? Leave alone the sewage part.
Absolutely. Seema Sharma has a fair point there, Mr. Kodandapani. It's not just untreated sewage, it's also about dumping.
See, all round, you said the STPs are provided. Who is inspecting the STPs, whether they are working all right or not? Simply they will provide, if they don't maintain. Still, sewage will come to the lake. So sewage
How about
is
other
the main
things,
problem.
sir? How about cleaning? How about fencing? How about industrial waste? How about other dumping?
You know, in fact, about 3
Industry should be shifted. You should cancel the trade license and shift the factory. Don't allow them to work any one day more. Then,
Mr. Kodandapani, it's not just about industrial affluence in this case. It's not just about industrial affluence. In fact, 3.3 crore rupees was given by the government to the BDA to fence the lake, but nothing of that has happened.
But you should pursue it, government, and get it done early.
But isn't the BDA, mandated to rejuvenate this lake? Isn't it the BDA's responsibility to ensure that all the stakeholders, whether it is the BBMP or the BWSSB or the, Karnataka State Pollution Control Board, all of them are on board? Because according to the, list of recommendations that's been given, all of them are responsible.
No, BDS function is developing extension, preparing master plan of the city, not improving lakes. Because BDA during Mr. S.M. Krishna's rule and that efficient commissioner, they made lot of money in BDA extension and other schemes. They were made to invest projects like this. So it is not the responsibility of BDA at all within the corporation area. However, they have agreed. So let them do the work early.
Ms. Sharma, in fact, tell me this, the Kodandapani saying there that it's not the BDA's responsibility, but as a citizen of Bellandur, what groundwork have you seen, not just from the BDA, but the rest of the agencies involved?
So far, only citizens, they keep reporting, they keep reaching out to BBMP, Pollution Control Board, Lake Department, and these are the answers we get. Like, I am not responsible beyond this, I am only responsible for concrete structure, you go to this. So my question is, as an ordinary citizen, is it our job to go door to door knocking and asking who will take care of what? Is there a one person, one authority, one department who can say this is my responsibility, let me work with other departments who are involved in this problem? And problem is Bellandur Lake comes under 2 zones, 3 wards. So from BBMP perspective, we cannot go to one person. We are knocking these doors from last 1 year. So that is going too much. So we need somebody to own the problem, work with others and find the solution.
Very quickly, Ms. Seema Sharma, also tell me this. At the end of the day, the 16-member committee recommendations have not yet been implemented. It's been a while since the recommendations have come out, which clearly mention each and every agency as responsible for all of the things that need to be done to rejuvenate this lake. But that's not happened yet. The tenders have just been floated. It was going to take another 20 days. Very quickly, tell me, what do you want as a citizen of the locality?
So we want a clean lake, we want a clean air to breathe, we want clean water. That is the basic any citizen can expect. But to start cleaning the mess, at least start fencing, start cleaning all the dry grass. And if it is BWSSB or whoever, go and check the STP. If they are saying it's only untreated sewage, who is stopping them from going and inspecting the STP?
Absolutely, a point taken. Thank you so much for joining us here on Magic Bricks. Now, this is one issue that we will continue to follow, get answers from the state government and ensure that the recommendations, long-term and short-term, are implemented. We will continue to keep a very, very close eye on the Bellandur Lake that is turning toxic in Bengaluru there. With that, it's a wrap here on The Big Story. Stay with Magic Bricks now.
You can watch live TV on our website mbnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.